Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning on a bright and sunny morning here in Charlottesville,
this is a fabulous
Virginia.
morning.
So it's a beautiful morning to be here. It's a beautiful morning to have you back
Thank
on
you
the
so
show.
much.
I can't say I missed you because Michael was here. So that would be
But you
very
can say that, and you can say you miss Michael too.
So I miss
you gotta make me
There we
feel
go.
good a
Okay.
little.
When you're not here, I miss you.
There you
When
are.
Michael's not here, I miss him too.
Okay.
So there you go. That's very well. I'll say it for both of you. So Xavier is back with us on Today. How's it feel to be back?
Oh, fantastic! I mean, like I said, I'm looking around. There's a lot of energy here today.
Oh yes. Oh yes. There was a lot of passion.
I didn't need coffee. If I knew this, I wouldn't have had coffee this morning because I'm revving.
You're just thriving.
Absolutely.
The energy from all our fantastic guests that we have lined up for you this morning. So we're going to be joined very shortly by Josephina Carr, Director of Retail Operations for Castle Hill Cider. We will follow that up with Thomas Safranek. He's from the Board of Directors of the Rivanna Trail Foundation.
Wow.
And then last but not least, we will be joined by the always energetic Justin.
Hello, Jim.
From the gym. So once you've indulged at Castle Hill Cider, and once you've watched the beauty and taken in the nature of the Rivanna Trail, you can go
and work it all out.
Body, mind, and spirit.
So, that's right. That's what I like about the gym, though. It's really all three.
It's all three.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So you can do all three things. We always love, of course, being presented by Emergent Financial Services and powered by our friends at Castle Hill, at the gym, at Craddock Serious Insurance, Miguel and Chick, by Aqua CVille Hand Car Wash, by GBS Financial Services, and we are always partnering with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is back.
That's right.
With
That's
events,
what I hear.
we will be Today y Mañana and Forward Adelante will be combining forces August 31st at 5:30 p.m. at Castle Hill Cider. It'll be our Today y Mañana appreciation event and Forward Adelante's Connect Latino 2022. It is free to attend this event. There is free food at this event. There are amazing cocktails at this event, which we will show you in person shortly.
Right now, exactly.
And there is live music from the band Lily Graciela, who was nominated for Best of CVille 2022, actually.
Wow, okay.
Lily Graciela will be live music at this event. So you can't
miss this.
To miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss
that. You cannot afford to miss it. You can find it on both Eventbrite and Facebook. It's called Connect Latino 2022. From there, you can very easily RSVP. It's literally, there's a little thing that says tickets, free to RSVP. You put how many people you want to come. You hit get tickets and poof.
Done.
You are registered to come.
And it's a beautiful spot. I mean,
it's a beautiful
and it's the right time of the year. You just go out there, you enjoy the scenery, the outdoors, and then what Josephina has here to offer.
There are a few spots in Charlottesville, I would think, in Albemarle County that are more beautiful than where Castle Hill is situated. I mean, you're high up, you get the breeze, you get the beautiful vistas, you have that amazing, the tasting room is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous inside and out.
Exactly.
And just so, I mean, what better way to spend the sunset hours of a summer night?
Can't imagine any better place.
Exactly. And speaking of that,
let's get going. Let's get going
there.
here.
Just perfect. Speaking of that, we are very excited to welcome to the show this morning Josephina Carr. She is the Director of Retail Operations for Castle Hill Cider. Josephine, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
I also love the way you say my title, Director.
Director.
I love that.
I figured I have to really spice that up.
I love it.
Exactly. So Josephine, for those, I mean, we've met you several times, just love coming and seeing you at Castle Hill, having you at events. For those who don't know you, or this is the first time meeting you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be at Castle Hill.
Well, I actually had not had a lot of cider before Castle, at least in the US. For my 21st birthday, I got treated to go to Normandy and I tried cider for the very first time.
Wow.
And then I was like, I love cider. Oh my gosh, I want to see all about it when I get home. I want to drink it. It was COVID and I'd stumbled across Castle Hill and I went to the tasting room and I had a flight and I was like, what is this? This is amazing, you know? And I instantly wanted to be a part of it, so I'm really happy that they allowed me to be part of the team. And so started out there, brought some fun ideas to the table. I lived in LA for about 7 years before moving here to Virginia. And it's just been so much fun collaborating and exploring. And yeah, cider is a really youthful industry, so it's really exciting to be a part of it now as it's growing as well. So.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much growth. Every time we had Rob and Don on, there's like a new award, or there was something going on in Virginia.
They're very creative in what they. I mean, because you
yes.
think of apple, say, well, what can you do with an apple? You squeeze it, the juice comes out, there you are, done, right? But no, the way they do and how they create different flavors, tastings, or whatever. I mean, it's an amazing product. It really is.
It truly is. And I know, so one of the things you do, of course, is you are a master at cocktail making, as I have heard and experienced at
I wouldn't say master, but I appreciate that.
What we're looking at looks masterful. So
there we go.
the only word we can say is master.
We'll put it that way. So tell us a little bit about what we have here for our viewers, as well as you do that, some of the cocktails that we have here and things people can find.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the fun part about Castle Hill is that we have so many different ciders just to start with. Like, even before getting into cocktails, I mean, we really have something for everybody, which is also a reason why I find it so special. So whether if you're really not familiar with cider at all, there are a lot of ways that you can compare and seek out and choose ciders at our, at Castle Hill, and really find something you love. I mean, we have stuff that's barrel aged and really spirit forward tasting. We have some stuff that's been aged in Woodford Reserve whiskey cask that tastes like sippable whiskey. Oh my God, it's so good.
Well, I know
and then obviously the cider's great on its own, but why not play with it? So that's what gets really fun, and obviously you can spice it up at home and add even more spirits and stuff like that. So it's kind of a starting point for everyone, just to show them what cider can do and how flexible it is and how much fun you can have with it. Today I brought our cider berry spritzer, which has been selling out every weekend. But other than that, we have our Landy Mule. Oh yeah, if you want to hand it up. We have our Landy Mule, which is our version of a Moscow Mule. We make old fashions, frozen rosés. We make something called a silver lining, which is made with butterfly pea flower. So it's a beautiful purple with an orchid frozen in a spheric ice cube. We just like to have fun. So every season our cocktail changes as the weather changes. So there's always something new to find, which is really exciting.
I wanted to say something for it. Anytime that my wife likes something, it's got to be good. And what's
something that
liquor-wise, alcoholic-wise, because she's not a big alcoholic drinker, right? What's the one that
it's 14? The port.
1764.
There you go.
She literally has this lock somewhere in the house with a key, double lock, padlock.
That's good on her because we're sold out right now.
It's just amazing. It's like I go there. It's like that's mine.
No, the guys in the house are forbidden to drink.
Forget
this port.
So it's good.
That is my 1764 port and cider port. Only I am drinking this.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's good.
So this one that we have here is
So this is the cider berry spritzer, and I can make it if you guys want to see how it's made. So we actually make it with our Celestial cider, which is going to be a drier cider. In slightly apple forward, for a lot of people who don't know cider, I like to compare it to a Prosecco. It's super bubbly, has that dry feel to it.
Yes.
Which is good.
But obviously it's not a Prosecco, it's cider. So what we do is we actually, and if it's okay, I can make it.
Go ahead.
Can you see my hands here at all?
Yep.
Maybe?
Oh, Judah said we're
awesome.
good. We can see your hands.
All right, if you don't have a cocktail set at home, don't worry about it. Find stuff in your kitchen. If you don't have a muddler, I've used some weird things like the end of a wooden spoon. You can get creative. First thing you want to do is we grab fresh raspberries. I go ahead and grab a handful, so about 8 or so.
All right.
Just drop those in. And then we're going to actually take some fresh mint as well. Again, I kind of eyeball it. Depends if you want more of the mojito feel, you can add a lot of mint. I'm going to do about...
I like that feel.
Yeah, he's excited. Jamie's excited already. He's like, mojito, yes.
So I'm going to do about 5 or 6 of mine.
All right.
And now this is the secret. This is apricot reserves. So apricot jam works as well. Now you want to do a heavy scoop on this. Your raspberries are really tart. You have that freshness from your mint, and this is going to add a lot of the sweetness because remember that Celestial is going to be very dry.
Okay.
So I actually pre-measured this out, but if you have a large spoon at home, you're going to want to go ahead and fill your entire large spoon with some apricot jam. Like
about 2 tablespoons, would you say, more or less, or depending on your taste?
Yeah, depending on your sweetness.
Okay.
If you want it a lot sweeter, you can go sweeter as well. Okay, my dirty spoon is going back in. Don't judge me. Muddler, again, you can use the back of a wooden spoon, anything like that. You're just gonna push down and twist. You really want that mint to break up, and you want all the flavors to really come out. So just give me a second. I'm gonna muddle fast.
No, take your time. We got a lot of stuff to do here.
Xavier and I are busy, so yeah, we're we're busy enjoying this amazing cocktail, so take
I'd
your
actually
time.
put a nice little spread here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got my favorite, which is the banana chips, and I get some vegetables, which we're forced to eat once in a while, and then some crackers, and then I guess there's other stuff in these things. In these
Yeah, so
little
we have a
cups.
full light spike menu at Castle, which again is rotating just like our cocktails.
Okay.
So lots of food options as well that are forever changing, always adding new stuff to our menu. And that is actually our artisanal dip flight. So you have an artichoke and Parmesan dip with fried capers, you have a 5-layer hummus, and then you have a guacamole with homemade pickled veg on top. Very, very good.
That sounds
Man, that looks great.
Okay, so this is the fun part.
Okay.
So we're gonna add the alcohol. If you're measuring at home, 6 ounces is gonna make 1 glass. So if you
Okay.
wanna make more than 1 glass, you can double it. I'm gonna eyeball it because I do this all the time and I don't wanna take forever measuring out. But we're gonna pour it right in. Now, some people don't do this when making cocktails just because it is bubbly. We are not gonna shake it in this cocktail. And we're also not gonna add ice. And the reason is, this came directly from a fridge, and we're
Okay.
gonna pour it over ice. So it's gonna be already chilled enough. As well as the copper is gonna keep it nice and cold.
So you would use
And we don't-
chilled
Yes,
cider
definitely
to do
keep the
this.
cider chilled.
And we don't want to dilute any of the flavors.
Exactly. So then I'm gonna actually stir it. If you shake it, it will be really fun and all over your kitchen, so you don't wanna do that.
You can do it in someone else's kitchen.
Yeah,
As
that
long
would
as
be
they
a
clean it
blast.
up.
Do it, let's do it.
I said I'm really good at eyeballing it, but I wasn't. Hold on. There we go.
No, I call that the emerald touch. Like, you remember
A little bit more,
anytime
right.
Emerald would
That's
cook
right.
something, he'd put the wine, and then like 2 seconds later, he'd be like, "No, add some more." So the emerald touch, you put 6 ounces of cider, and then you go like, a little more.
Not how you start, it's how you finish, right?
There you go.
So we've been sitting here for a little bit, so my ice cubes are a little bit melted. So normally they're not that melted. I'm gonna dump some of this water out. Boop, boop, boop. So we use little spheric ice balls. You can use regular ice at home. We just like to add a little bit of booze wherever we can, because why not?
Why not?
Why not? So we're gonna take a tiny bit of tonic water. Any tonic water will do.
Tonic water.
Now the tonic is gonna add a little bit of sweetness. You can totally skip this part. You can use Perrier instead. It's totally up to you. I like a little tiny bit of tonic,
Okay.
and I mean like the tiniest bit of tonic.
Okay, so like just a little.
Just
bit of
a little
sweet.
dribble right at the end.
Got it.
All right. Now I recommend a strainer, otherwise it's going to be a hot mess. And then you're just going to go ahead and pour that into your drink.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that comes out so beautifully red.
Absolutely, yeah. Look at the
Oh,
color.
look at that.
That's
All
perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
You white it just perfectly.
Fantastic.
And that's your cider berry spritzer.
Well, salud. Cheers.
Salud, as we
Cheers.
say
Ooh,
in
I'm
Spanish.
sliding. Let's see. There we go.
There you go.
Salud.
Oh, I'm excited about
Salud.
this part.
You know, it's refreshing, flavorful, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you can actually even taste the raspberries a little and the mint. It's a great summer drink. It really is.
I realize what a combination. And I think it just works so well. It's part of one of my favorite things about the ciders at Castle Hill, especially Celestial, I think is one of my favorites, that it has this light and air, like ascending feel, like an
Yeah.
airy feel to it. It doesn't feel like a heavy, cider where you said, oh, I can only drink this, in the winter if
Yeah.
I'm cold. It has a beautiful airiness to it while also being extremely flavorful. Like you actually get the flavor. And it's one of my greatest things about Castle Hill, I think, is that each cider actually has a unique flavor.
That's a unique flavor,
It's not like the
exactly.
same cider 5 times with 5 different labels. Like each one has a very unique flavor. And this one in particular just has a beautiful lightness to it while still having that fantastic apple flavor. So you put it in a cocktail like this and you taste the cider, like you taste how good it
Exactly,
is.
yeah. And again, that's what I'm the same way, right? I mean, first of all, I love apple, right? So, and as a kid, I used to love apple juice, right? So now as an adult, I don't like apple juice as much because I like it stuff so much better. Maybe it's the alcohol, I don't know. But it's refreshing, right? So, I mean, you drink it, it's refreshing. And as you said, it's not one of those things where it's really heavy in your palate. It's just light and again, and refreshing. And then, but I mean, I know in the winter we drink it also. And
We do.
It's just good all around.
It's good, it's good all
Yeah.
the time.
It's a great option as well, like if you're trying to go and have a cocktail, but you want to like have a lower ABV.
That's right.
You could go for something more like a cider berry spritzer. And if you want a higher ABV, we have some high ABV stuff as well that we can we can get sorted.
That can be arranged.
But I love that option. You know, a lot of people, you know, maybe you want to have a nice drink and don't want to, you know, they want to walk somewhere after and not crawl. So, like, you know, this is a great option.
Exactly. I really like the way you described it.
Yeah, you don't want to be crawling through the trail. You really want to be walking through that trail.
Exactly. So I'm curious, what's kind of the process like? A couple of shout outs here, actually. Got Tiffany Harrell watching the show this morning, John Blair watching the show, Elizabeth Miller watching the show this morning. And Lauren McRaven says that food looks amazing. Yes, it does. It also tastes amazing. And so I'm curious, what's kind of the process like of thinking up a new cocktail, trying to figure out what are ways to use the cider? What's the part that you kind of really enjoy about them?
So it's super creative, and I have no idea how I come up with half of them, I'll be completely honest. No, but the starting point is always with the cider. So what qualities do the cider have that may be similar to cocktails that we know?
Okay.
So first cocktail ever made at Castle was actually our version of the Moscow Mule, which we call the Landy Mule. We have a nice little 1955 vintage Land Rover that has been converted into a bottle service bar. So it's inspired, the name's inspired by that. So we have a cider named OG, and then we have another cider that's a Palmo. OG stands for original ginger. So ginger, Moscow Mule. But then I have to figure out, how do I make it taste like a Moscow Mule? So, you know, I'm not going to use the ginger beer because we have the ginger flavor. The Palmo adds the sweetness, so I'm not going to use a simple syrup. So really, it's different with each cider. If I have a barrel-aged cider, I'll start with the spirit. Maybe if it's aged in a rum barrel, I'll say, what rum cocktails can we create out of this? And then I just kind of fill in the missing pieces, or I pull out what the cider already has. And some work and some don't, but so far most of them have worked, so that's good.
So that was going to be my question. I mean, first of all, do you have other people that taste, or are you literally tasting this thing? I would assume
I make everybody taste it.
By the 10th taste, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not really sure I'm tasting anymore.
Well, this one actually was funny because we were kind of needing something new for summer, and I was asking our chef, I was like, oh my gosh, what do we have? What do we have that's fresh right now that I can just think of something? And I was like, we have apricot jam here, why do we have that? I was like, okay. And then I was like, what kind of fruit do we have? She's like, we have some raspberries. And I was like, do we have mint? I was like, yeah, we have mint. And so I muddled it up, and I was like, Celestial, we haven't really used that. Let's try some of that. It's kind of, again, Prosecco like that, like refreshing kind of feel. Muddled up, and I tasted it, and I was like, wow. Okay, now I need everyone to confirm wow. So I ran around
It's like when you call up Robin Don, you're like, I need confirmation here.
I start running with cocktails. I start making them. I put them on trays. I'm running. I'm like, try this. You know, because I may think it's great, but, you know, I want to make sure that everyone thinks it's great. I really want to curate something for everyone who comes and sees us.
Absolutely.
And so to get that validation back is definitely important when building a venue, because everyone does have different needs. And our demographic is so different, and it's so vast. So we want to really make sure there's something for everyone.
Yeah. No, it's got to be. I mean, it's in a way, it's got to be a fun job, right? Because you sit there and you go, how do I put all this together? I mean, you obviously have a lot of experience. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to start. I'd just throw everything together and say, this is lousy. Obviously, I'm not good at it, right? But
so you're not helping me make my next cocktail?
I don't think so. I don't think you'd want my help. I'd be drinking more than I'd be helping. That's the problem.
That would be the problem.
But I mean, to have that knowledge behind you, a little bit of knowledge, and saying, I know how these flavors blend, and then starting to put them together, and then at the end say, wow. I mean, that's got to be really a good feeling, right?
It's super fun. I mean, I'm totally about, you know, exploring and going new places. That's why I love Charlottesville so much. There's so much here that a lot of people don't know about, especially actually in Keswick as well, which I'm surprised when I come to Charlottesville, a lot of people don't really know about what's on Route 231. And I mean, it's ridiculous. There's always something new to try. And that's what I love. I mean, even down to cocktail making. I mean, that's why I love it. It's like, ooh, that's interesting. Let's do it. You know, let's try it. Let's see where it goes.
No, absolutely. I mean, one of the beautiful things too about Castle Hill is there's so many things also that can go on there. Like you get to experience some other people that are on Route 31 that'll do food trucks that'll come up there.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities to go and enjoy also the amazing food at the tasting room itself. I mean, which is, do you come kind of sometimes, I know I'm particularly partial to the desserts that are at the tasting room. I really enjoyed the tart that was there for a while, and then before that the sage apple crumble.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes sort of work with seeing, okay, how can I make a cocktail that will pair with something new or amazing that's coming out of the kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, we always keep that in mind. You know, what are people going to be drinking besides our food? So that's definitely definitely super important when curating our food menu as well. Things that, you know, people can eat and get full on, but also can complement what they're drinking. So, yeah, definitely something we keep in mind. Going back to what you said, though, what I do love about Castle is everyone makes it their own, and they make it different, and I see that all the time. So it's interesting to hear, you know, your experience versus somebody else's. I mean, everyone. That's what I think probably one of my favorite parts of working there is I watch people come alone and read a book or answer emails, or I see somebody, you know, get engaged, you know, or have a party, or just go with a group of friends, and I just love that. It's all over the place, and you get to watch life happening just by pouring some cider, and it's crazy. Yeah.
You know, it just feels like a place where you could just go there and unwind, right, from, you know, what life brings, but just go there, and whether you just sit down and you just have a glass of cider, right, and just stare at the mountains and just sit there, or, you know, with friends chatting, whatever. But that's exactly right. I mean, it's a great place to go to enjoy. I mean, there's just so much to enjoy, right? That there's a little bit for everybody, so it doesn't matter. It's not like you go and it's like, nah, the only thing I can drink is this. No, this is just the different flavors, and obviously the cocktails. I mean, it's a great spot. It really is. It's amazing.
It truly is. Tell us a little bit. Can we get a little preview of maybe something special that you might be making for the upcoming Today Mañana for Adelante event that people should be going to?
I'm very excited about this. Not just because I'm Cuban, but I'm very, very, very excited that you guys are all bringing, you know, Latinos together in the community. I think it's awesome. So obviously lots of fun food. Our chef Lauren is going to be preparing for everyone to enjoy, but we have a special flight. So just for you guys. And what we're going to do, since we talked about cocktails
just for
today,
us too?
Yeah, you guys can have them all. No, these for everyone. But we're going to have ciders compared to the cocktails. So you guys will actually be able to taste the cider alone versus how it can transform.
Oh, wow.
So we've never done a flight like this before, and it won't be exclusively for your event. Who knows? Maybe we'll make it a thing, but as of now, it's just for you guys.
See?
So yeah, it's gonna be very exciting, and I think it's very interesting to see what you can actually do with the cider, and comparing to how it tastes in that cocktail glass versus how it tastes on its own, which both are extremely, extremely delicious. So.
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
Just that alone is a reason
Just
to go.
that alone is a reason.
Even if there's no other reason, that one alone, right?
Exactly.
And to watch you dance, because now
Well, don't say that because most people won't come then. You just got to say it's the drink. I mean, this drinks, people will come. You say Xavier's going to dance, like, I think I'll pass on that.
No, another reason to come. So I did get a comment from Mrs. Urpí, who's watching the show. She says that, you know, of course, she has her favorite cider there. And she says that although the venue is beautiful, she would just go for Josephine's beautiful smile.
Oh, stop it.
That's Mrs.
Don't
Urpí
embarrass me this early in the morning. That's so sweet.
That's Mrs. Urpí for you on the show. So definitely want to ask, before we let you go, anything else new going on at Castle? I know there's a new collaboration that has happened, I think, with Monticello.
Yes, we just launched Orchard Select. It is so delicious. It's actually now Taking the Cake is one of my favorites, which is hard for me to have a favorite. And it is a collab with Monticello. So definitely check it out over either with them or with us. We'll both be selling it and, you know, pouring tastings as well.
So this is from their orchard, is that what it is?
Yeah, so their apples as well as ours, and then we collaborated on that and built a cider together. Yeah.
All right.
We're fermented.
That's
cider
amazing.
Together, I guess.
Another reason to go and taste something.
Exactly, to try something.
Too many
new.
reasons.
Yeah, it's always something new, and we'll have a lot more exciting announcements for this fall as well. We're going to have a lot more activities going on, some really cool things that I can't say quite yet, but definitely check our Instagram page out, our Facebook page out, our website, because we have really exciting things happening.
Best way for people to find news is on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, especially for immediate updates and information, you know, as fast as you want to get it. I mean, that's the first place we're going to launch it. Of course, our website as well. Instagram is at Castle Hill Cider. Facebook, you can find us Castle Hill Cider as well.
Yep.
And then our website is castlehillcider.com.
Super easy.
Not super complicated to remember,
Exactly.
but
No,
it doesn't
not
get
at all.
any easier than that. Castle Hill on Instagram, Castle Hill Cider on Instagram, Castle Hill Cider on Facebook, castlehillcider.com.
there you go.
So it's
Easy peasy.
super easy.
Well, Joe, thank you so much
Thank you
for all
for
the
having
work
me.
and the wonderful drink and the smile. I agree with Mrs. Urpí.
There we go. Exactly. Same here. Thanks so
I
much,
love that.
Joseph.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy your cocktails, and I'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next week.
See you then. and so hopefully see all of you next week as well.
Banana chip.
I see that. I turned down the banana chip. All of you as well. You should definitely be joining us on August 31st at 5:30 p.m. It's a drop-in, so you can from 5:30 to 7:30. In other words, if you can't get out of work exactly at 5, that's okay.
Exactly.
Come at 6. It's drop in, drop out. Enjoy just the live music, the amazing special flight, exclusive flight of cocktails that you can enjoy, and the food is on us.
It's wonderful, yeah. And those 3 things, I didn't get a chance to taste them, but they look delicious. So I can imagine what the food's going to taste.
We will be enjoying them.
Yeah,
we will be enjoying them.
absolutely.
They're next to you, which is the part of the problem. I can't reach.
She did that on purpose. There'll be nothing left. I mean, she
knows.
knows.
Josephine was too nice to you. She needed to put that over here. But so much to really enjoy. So definitely would encourage people to just easily find Connect Latino 2022. I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact if you type it into Facebook or Eventbrite, you will get it. And in fact, if you type it into Google, you will get there.
Type what into Google?
Connect Latino 2022.
Wow.
You will get there.
That's pretty good.
In fact, it's the first thing that pops up
on Google?
It's the first thing that pops up on Google.
No, you can't miss it
Connect
then.
Latino 2022. It is free to RSVP and just join us.
Yeah.
So be sure to do that. And from one fantastic guest to another,
absolutely,
we're joined right now by Tommy Safranek. He is from the board of directors for the Rivanna Trail Foundation. Tommy, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Tommy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Very well. Very well. So
as you can see, very well.
As you can see, very well. So for those who aren't yet familiar with Rivanna Trail, I mean, I know I've walked some of the beautiful trails. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got connected to the trail.
Well, before I forget, I just want to give you guys a poster.
Fantastic.
These are on hot demand, so
we're going to be asking about this very shortly, that people can learn about.
So, how did I get kind of connected with the Rivanna Trails Foundation? Well, I moved here maybe 3.5 years ago, and I left the National Park Service to move here, and I knew that when we're scouting out Charlottesville, the number one thing that popped out was the Rivanna Trails Foundation for me, because it was kind of like what I did for a career for so many years. And it just seemed like a great resource, and one of the reasons why we decided to move to here, Charlottesville.
Okay.
But the RT, as people call it, is a pretty cool resource. Some people know some of the sections, but not all of them.
Yep.
And, there's a lot to explore. And one of the things that we've been pushing lately is the fact that it's a full loop. It's a 20-mile loop around the city. A lot of people, hence our event, Loop DeVille.
Okay.
And so one of the things I've been doing since I moved here and joined the board is actually putting up signage along the trail. And just this week, or last week rather, we added mile markers. So, the trail officially starts at Riverview Park, and there's a history behind that I can go into. But that's mile 0, and if you keep going counterclockwise, you'll go up through Greenbrier Park to Bodo's on Emmett, cross over 29, kind of go up behind Barracks and UVA, making your way through Fontaine Research Center, and then eventually to Azalea Park, over to 5th Street, Willoughby. It ties into the new Biscuit Run, or will be Biscuit Run, State Park or County Park, and then eventually reconnects at the Wool Factory. There's a brand new bridge there, maybe you're aware of, that over Morris Creek, and that bridge is huge because it makes a complete loop over to Riverview Park. So, and then there's another awesome section, my favorite section that most people don't know about, which goes up from Penn Park, if you can picture that, and then follows the river up through Dunlora, and then over to Belvedere, and that's another, 9 miles of trail that we manage. So one of the beautiful things about the Rivanna Trail is that it's not one thing. It's the city owned section, the county owned section, but private landowners also own parts of it, and they've given us easement or allowed us to have public access to it, which is not common. That's an awesome resource that the city of Charlottesville and everybody has access to. So we want to make people aware of it, because not everybody is aware of it.
Absolutely, that's amazing. No, I didn't realize it was.
I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah. I mean, that's a 20-mile loop. That's big. Now, are there also smaller loops that people can do?
Of course, yeah. One of my favorite ones is, so I don't know how familiar you are with the YMCA trails. There's triangle trails up there that Safe Routes to School folks have put in. But those tie into the RT, which goes above that in Greenbrier Park. So you can kind of make this little loop between, that and then the kind of main loop. So if you go to our website, you'll see a map that I put together on Google, and therefore you can use it while you're out in the field and see where you are.
Okay, yeah.
Which is super helpful. But the trail that comes through the YMCA is brown, so that's a spur trail.
Okay.
And then that reconnects with the green, or the main loop trail. And then the blue trail you'll see on that map takes you up through Dunlore, the River North Trail.
Okay.
So that's an awesome loop. Another loop is over by the Forestry Department, which is by Fontaine Research Center.
Okay, yeah.
That's a little 1 mile kind of loop that I think is pretty cool. But yeah, there's plenty of offshoots, actually. That's the coolest thing about it. Like, 2 new trails that were put in recently by the Charlottesville area mountain biking club, the Cambic. They put in the city of Charlottesville, right by Quarry Park, 2 little loops that are just really beautiful, awesome, fun spurs up what we call Quarry Cliffs.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, so the beauty is like you can actually graduate, right? Because I mean, I'm thinking of, it's like if it's a loop of 20 miles, you're saying there's no way I'm doing 20 miles today, right? But I mean, you can do like a loop of 1 mile and graduate to 2 miles and then so on and so forth. But it's nice because sometimes, you say, I want to go for a nice little, walk or whatever, and to know that there's, smaller loops because I only have a few hours, and it's like, great, this is fantastic, I had no idea. I mean, I really had no idea.
Honestly, one of the coolest things about it is it connects a lot of. Our mission is to connect communities.
Yes.
Using the trails to connect communities. So you're connecting a lot of communities in and around Charlottesville through this trail network. So today, this week, with kids going back to school, it's been more, important for kids to be able to access safely to different locations, and the trail is used by many schools every day, or students every day, to get to school.
Wow, so that's good.
Which is very nice. It's a nice, safe way, and I also think the beauty of it, because it's a trail in that way, it has that sort of additional safety thing that there's not a lot of cars passing back and forth.
Exactly.
You're trying, and it's a beautiful trail. The kids get a little bit of to enjoy nature.
You don't have to walk along a highway. Just because there's a path there, it's not a pleasant path along 29, for example. But if you live, for example, off Michi behind the Whole Foods, but you're trying to get to the Greenbrier Elementary School, the RT takes you right there.
That's fantastic. That you experience some of nature and just the beautiful area that we have in Charlottesville that you can interact with on your way to school instead of just doing a concrete.
Exactly.
Concrete journey from home to school. You're doing a natural.
It's like going on an adventure before you even go to school, right? Because you go through a trail, and you're going through a trail, and you get to school. Yeah.
You get it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. A couple of shout outs. We got Elizabeth Urpí watching the show this morning. We got Kevin Higgins. Thank you for watching the show this morning. Johnny Ornelas, amigo del programa, watching the show this morning. So thank you, everyone. So tell us a little bit about this fantastic event coming up called the Loop DeVille from September 24th to the 25th. Tell us about what is this event? What can people kind of expect?
Yeah, so basically, I'm gonna take one step back further and answer your question a little bit more from earlier as well. But we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. So so come on out on the 25th, that Sunday of that weekend, and we'll have a birthday cake. We'll sing Happy Birthday and do all that fun stuff.
Fantastic.
But so 30 years ago, maybe 32 years ago now, the Washington Post wrote an article about Charlottesville's trails. And the funny thing to a lot of people who live in Charlottesville was at the time there were no trails. That this article was written, and they were talking about gravel roads. Dick Woods Road or Ridge Road out in the county. So it's these Thomas Jefferson, that was the title, Thomas Jefferson County or Country Trails. There weren't trails, but a group of folks got together, volunteers, and that's what the RTF is. We're all volunteers, no paid staff. Got together and said, we need trails. We want trails. Charlottesville's growing. We need to be thinking about, as it grows, like how are we going to build the communities that we want to live in?
Absolutely.
So they pushed the city to start building the Rivanna Trail down at the river. So the RTF is kind of responsible for that paved section of trail along, the river. That is why, the trail starts at Riverview Park, mile 0, if you will.
Yep, that's the one that I've mostly walked.
Sure.
It's, such a beautiful stretch.
It is. And I live right down there, so I use it all the time. So the volunteers got it going, and their philosophy was, we want trails to follow Meadow Creek and Moores Creek, and then the in-between is UVA. So those are kind of your 3 sections of trail that make that loop, if you will. Meadow Creek dumps into Rivanna River right by Penn Park. Moores Creek does the same right by the wool factory. And in between, like I said, is UVA. So if you got like those trails along the creeks and UVA to buy in, then you got yourself a loop. And those same folks said, we love trails. We like to be on these trails, but we're not necessarily getting people on these trails that may not be aware of it. So 20 years ago, a couple of the board members started a Loop DeVille hike, and they said this is our opportunity to get folks who know about the trail but may not have seen the whole trail.
Right.
So this is an opportunity for people like yourselves to go on a free guided walk with experts, on that trail. So that over the past 20 years, it's been kind of low key. It's not been that big of a deal. Last year, we kind of stepped it up a little bit. We worked with the Rivanna River Company. They had a concert going on. We decided to put this event on National Public Lands Day, and we had a big turnout. We didn't do a lot to promote it, but this year being a 30th anniversary, we've now have a free guided hike along the whole loop. We've got the mountain biking club to do the same thing, a free guided bike ride along the whole route. The CATS, the Charlottesville area trail runners, are going to lead a free guided run on that Saturday. Then we're going to hang out, for that concert at the Rivanna River Company. Then the following day, we have events that aren't quite as industrious. I'll be leading a family walk along that paved section with the Rivanna Conservation Association from Wool Factory, because we'll be leading everything out on that Sunday at the Wool Factory. They came to us and they wanted to do this. So they're a huge sponsor of this event. Selvage, actually, Brandon is the one who created that poster. So they've been amazing. On that Sunday, we're going to lead all the events out of the Wool Factory. And so the mountain bikers are going to lead a bike ride up that River North section that I mentioned earlier. And then the CATS are going to lead a more calm 5-mile run out to those new trails at Quarry Park I mentioned earlier as well. So people get to see new things.
It's adding ways to sort of experience parts of the trail you haven't gone to before, but with the guide to sort of point you in the right direction.
In the way I've thought about it is, this event has something for everybody. If you want to see the whole trail, part of the trail, or if you are, let's say, always on the trail and love the trail, it's an opportunity to give back and volunteer, but also maybe recruit some people that may be a little unaware of it and we want to grow our community.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
So it has something for everybody. And then from 12 to 5 on that Sunday, we'll have concerts. It's open to the public, it's free. There'll be food. I've heard rumors that Selvage is making a special RTF Loop DeVille brew, so we're excited about that. That is awesome. And it's free and open to the public. And there's so many. So where can people go to find out, what events are happening on what days and the details? It can get a little complicated because there's a lot going on, and we are asking people to kind of register ahead of time. So on our website, you'll see the breakdown of all the events. Registration is free. It's not capped or anything like that. but we ask people to register. Just gives us an idea
Helps you get an idea.
That's right. Who's
of
coming?
how many people
Yeah.
are coming. Also, like, you know, what's your skill level perhaps? If you're mountain biking, is this new to you? We'll break you up in different groups so that,
Okay.
you know, the people who are in the more experienced and want to go faster are in this group. If people think they're going to take their time, you're in this group. But everyone's welcome. We want as many people to come as possible.
That's fantastic.
So yeah.
That's great. No, and that's so important, right? Because you want to go there, you want to participate, right? But at the same time, you know, if you've got workers that work, 50 miles an hour and you're a 10-mile-an-hour walker, it's like, I got to work. You know, I need a different group.
I think you thinking like, 10 versus 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was exaggerating.
It's
Just,
gonna take a while.
I think everybody knew I was exaggerating.
Okay. But no, it's a beautiful trail to be able to experience new parts of. I'm excited. I think I'm going to go myself.
You should.
And see what part of
No,
the
you
trail
have to.
I haven't seen yet. Because I've done that part by the river so many times.
Yeah.
This is kind of my go-to. But I didn't realize, since I don't walk the whole 20 miles, I never realized what else is out there.
And there's plenty of places to park. You know, I'm thinking of a good example, Greenbrier Park. You can park at Bodo's. Go park by Meadow Creek. You know, where they do the disc golf.
Yep.
That's a trail comes right through there. You can park there to access the trail.
It's the trail by the disc golf.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's plenty of places to park to access the trail. There is another trail, though. I wouldn't. It's not an RTF trail, but I would push you and encourage you to experience, and it ties into the other thing I kind of want to talk about.
Absolutely.
Which is on the other side of the river from that trail that you're referring to, the paved section, is the Old Mills Trail. That's part of the county.
Okay.
And that's a really cool trail, and I encourage you to check it out because it's similar. It's not far away. It's not paved. It's that crushed gravel.
Yes.
And it's just a really cool trail. You know, you can start it at Dardentow, make your way along the river.
So that's the one that starts at Dardentow.
Yep, it goes underneath the Free Bridge, and then you keep on going, and it technically now officially dead ends I-64, where 64 goes over the river. So there's about a 3-mile section there. And then there's a lot of talks about expanding that trail. There's talks about putting a bridge over the river right there. If you're
So right now the two sides don't connect.
Not yet.
Okay, it's always fun when I walk the Rivanna trail there to look across.
You can see.
I can see the people going in the other direction. I always wondered, do they go the whole way? Or do they start somewhere else?
It's an awesome trail. Like I said, I live right there, so I use both sides all the time. But the reason why why I wanted to bring it up is because that future bridge that they're talking about building there will be kind of the first section of the 3-notch trail. And that's a project of the Rivanna Trail Foundation that has been pushing for a number of years now. And that section, that bridge rather right there, will be a major player in building out a huge project. And we just were awarded a major grant by the Department of Transportation.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Good.
and it's
Fantastic.
$2 million to be able to start construction planning. And we don't have a lot of the details yet, but and how that's all going to be kind of worked out. But the idea of this is to connect through Crozet and then past Crozet to the Blue Ridge Tunnel.
Whoa.
So that's 25 miles of public access that we've been working on for a number of years. And we've been working with the communities going west to connect that way. And then there are several organizations that have been working on going eastbound and connecting to the Capitol Trail in Richmond. So the idea at some point is to be able to connect from the ocean, from the sea to the mountains.
Whoa.
Wow. Almost like a new Appalachian Trail in a sense, but from
it's going to be connecting to it. Yeah, that's the idea. And so we've talked with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. They were supportive of this event. So we talked with a number of those organizations, and because we got letters of support from them, is one of the reasons why we got the grant.
That's amazing. Because I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the foundation is supported by tax-deductible contributions.
That's right.
So where can people go, let's say they want to support the creation of the 3-notch trail. What's the way to support either the foundation or the new trail?
So a number one thing you can do is that Albemarle County is trying to, or is redoing some of the comprehensive plans right now. So adding public comments, supporting these projects, and it's not just the 3-notch trail, by the way. I'll just say, supporting more trails in our community in general is the biggest thing.
Okay.
But also maybe adding 3-notch trail will help move this project further along.
Absolutely.
But yes, you can go to our website, 3-notch trail, and there is a link on there to donate money that will go towards the funding of this project. But again, that's part of we are a planning committee within the Rivanna Trails Foundation. But the coolest thing about that grant to me is that Albemarle County came to us and wanted to be partners with us to make it happen. Fantastic. And so,
that's fantastic.
Because of that partnership, I think it's going to be a reality at some point.
That's amazing. I'm really excited about that.
That's grandiose plans. I mean, that's beautiful. Wow. Just
I'm
from the
excited
sea to the mountains.
That comes, and then just to follow the progress and be part of it. So
it's a long ways out, but we are now starting to kind of get, boxes checked, if you will, to get there.
A little bit. I will be there the day they open that bridge.
Okay.
Because I longed to see. I've always thought how cool it would be to walk on the bridge across that river.
Of course.
And I realized that there wasn't one. So that I am looking forward to that day. Tommy, thanks so much
for joining us. Thanks for having me.
So be sure to check it out, rivannatrails.org. You can get information and registration for Loop DeVille event, September 24th to 25th.
Thank you so much, Tommy.
Thanks so much, guys.
A learning experience.
That really was. I am so excited.
I had no idea they had so many trails, to be honest with you.
Yeah, to be honest, neither did I. I didn't realize it was 20 miles. I knew the one by the River Trail Park. But I didn't know about that, nor did I know. I always wondered what's on the other side of the river. Like, I see these people enjoying themselves. What's on the other side? So
you have to figure out how they got there, really. I mean, the other side of the river, there's just more land. But you would want to know, how did they get there?
That's what I want to know. I used to wonder, like, is there a bridge? Did they take a boat? I mean, how did they get there?
The grass always looks greener on the other side, doesn't it?
That's right, exactly.
There you go, exactly.
That's true.
Be sure to check it out, rivannatrails.org. Thank you, Michael Holroyd, for watching the show this morning. He has put a link to both Rivanna Trails and 3-Notch Trail in the chat on the Jerry Miller Facebook page. So be sure to check that out. Thank you, Sharon Cavender, for watching this morning and saying good morning. Good morning, Sharon. Thanks for joining us. And from another friend.
Look who's here with us now.
I know. Look who's here with us. Some of our favorite guests as well on today in Mañana. We are really excited to welcome back.
And we have snacks.
Absolutely.
And we have treats. And we have treats.
We knew you were coming.
Exactly. I knew it. See, exactly. Timing is everything.
Absolutely. I heard that before. Yeah.
It truly is. So we're really excited to welcome back Justin.
Thank you.
And Gene. Justin is the head trainer at the Gym CVille, and Gene is the trainer and gym manager at the Gym CVille. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you both here again.
Yeah.
So tell us, I know this, every time we have you on, there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
Where do we start?
And I've definitely got some specific questions I want to ask, but first I figured I'd just start. What's upcoming that has each of you most excited?
Well, first of all, being here, I mean, it's always fun to come and do
Same
this.
here,
I mean,
same
and when I see this on the calendar, it's like, yes. It's like recess, you know. And then just to sit here and be a part of what you all are doing and being able to see people that really invest in their community and really good, they're badasses at what they do.
Yep.
You know, and just see that, and just like with these trails, I just actually went mountain biking this morning before I got here, and then hear this from this guy. I'm like, this is so cool. We're going to definitely have to connect. You know, and just so, and then the drinks, and just as like in Charlottesville, there's such a piece for everybody. You've got a big city and a small town feel, and it's like as the little players continue to grow and evolve and start to kind of shine their light, it's like all of a sudden it's just like other connections and people start to grow, and we start to see now we're pushing more inward instead of outward. You see all the chaos that's going on around us, but yet in our lives here in Charlottesville, it's like we're doing okay.
That's right. No, I agree.
Whether it's refreshments and drinks and socializing in that aspect, or whether it's out walking a trail or mountain biking, enjoying nature when you're 5 minutes from home, or you come to the gym and get your gas kicked in a good, loving way. You know, it's like, I mean, we offer, it's like you have everything that you could possibly want. You know, it depends on how you look at it, you know, so it's cool to be able to see all the chaos, but yet the reality that we live in, obviously, I don't really see that to that degree, and it's nice. It's allows us to blunt a lot of the stuff to the craziness.
I'll tell you,
that goes on.
after COVID, it is nice to see people begin to hug,
Yes.
to go out.
Small
begin to
businesses
enjoy-
specifically.
Specifically,
Because
yes.
a lot of the small businesses that I talk to and interact with, it seems like those guys are thriving.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
so good to feel or see the mom and pop's place finally
that's so
start to
important.
get
That's so important to
everything.
community,
It's
because
vital.
without
It's how we
them-
live. It's how we
Without them, the
survive.
community dies.
Yeah, we can't expect Walmart to do
Yeah.
that for us. It's not
Exactly.
going to work like
Yeah.
that. Sorry,
From a bigger
Walmart.
city, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
coming
really.
here, just the small town feel to it, small businesses,
Yeah.
it's not something that was part of me growing up. So coming here, it's just been really exciting.
No, it is.
Feel a part of something,
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of community, right? Trying to find out what your skill set is. What do you bring to the table that has value? And then how can I create a space or a place to where it's going to allow me to express who I am in a way that's what you're designed and created to do. So it's like, you know what I mean? And I think once you find those niches or places like on a trail or over drinks and a cocktail, it's like those explorations of who we are, that's where that kind of stuff is found out.
The other thing I find about, in particular about Charlesville, and I think it happens really maybe in small towns, is a positive vibration that comes from people, right? You go to a city, and I grew up in New York City, so everything's moving quickly. I mean, there's a lot to do in the city, but you don't feel like you connect that much. You're just moving, go from one place to another. The thing about a small city is that you get to meet people, and you get to meet the small businesses,
No doubt.
and there's a positive vibration. You can see the positivity coming out of them. The passion that they have for what they do, and it just instills that same feeling in you, and it's great.
I feel that at the gym. Like, you go to a big box gym, you kind of want to remain anonymous, but you come to the gym, I mean, we're mixing it up with people. We're talking about each other's lives and getting our workout in, So it's like taking what is really cool about Charlottesville and then bringing it right there in that gym, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Each individual gets to share their experience and how they experienced it. And I think as we age, trying to put words that actually match up with those experiences, right? Because when we're younger, it feels very different. As you get older, it gets very different. And so being able to now understand where you're at in your 40s and 50s and 60s versus your 15s or your 20s, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And so, and being able to creating those realities where yes, it's working out because it's tangible, but it's got to be at the soul level where the change has to take place. And at the gym, that's part of their requirement. And I said, I don't think people realize they feel it, but they don't know what it is. But that's what I feel like it's at the soul level. That's where the change has to take place. Once we start to get rid of the stuff the world tells us it's important, and we get rid of that BS, and we start to go inward and figure out who we are and what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. And through discipline is how we get there, right?
That's right.
And so in a gym is like, whether it's at a gym or it's on a nature trail or whatever your discipline is, I think the more that you dive into that and you use that discipline to help guide you in every capacity of life, that there's always these commonalities. Whether you're in New York City, I think the thing about New York City, you just kind of vibrate at such a higher level. Or it is, you're right, it's so fast. But the thing is, it's what we take there. We can't let it manipulate us. We have to manipulate it.
That's right.
And so in a
Exactly.
small town like this, though, we don't have, there's still a lot, but not nearly as much as what New York City offers.
That's right.
And so I love about the small town, where you can create those feelings. And like at the gym, where no matter how chaotic and fast and crazy, when you come to the gym, you take a deep breath, you walk through the doors, and everything changes. It's time for you. It's time for me to be. It's time for me to be passionate about what I need, not what the world needs. And I'm not a mom, and I'm not a friend, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. I'm not that. I am Justin, and I'm going to take care of what I need. And my knee hurts, and my back hurts, and my shoulder hurts. Okay, let's address that and move on. But I think once we can stop navigating life without pain as a major source of how we navigate life, everything starts to change. Because then how we navigate life through movement, through medicine, through interaction, through trail running, hiking, whatever, all of that's, I think, being connected close to the outdoors, preferably with your shoes off.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
it's
right.
the little
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that we forget
Yeah.
and we get so caught up in, but reality, that's the things that we're really supposed to enjoy. And it's through community and communication and dialogue with one another and in their experiences is how we grow and learn. And the more we can create those settings, whether it's at a vineyard or it's on a trail or at a gym, you're learning how to experience and dialogue and share from a place of hopefully unbrokenness, or the value that you now have. That for a lot of folks, they don't see the value in themselves, and that's a hard thing, and that's, it's everybody struggles with that.
Well, the beautiful part is you guys I love that you guys don't just help adults do this. You guys start even with because I think sometimes a lot of that lack of value we have in ourselves starts when we're kids, right?
Okay.
You know, the world says, you got to be this, you got to do that, you got to do this. If you don't do this, you don't have that. And you guys start. I know you've got some classes for kids. You got a class you're working on for homeschool students as well, so they can participate. It just talked a little about how you start with younger people to make sure we don't grow into adults that don't believe in our own value.
Well, I think mom and dad struggle with as it is. Mom and dads are dumb as it is. Kids, you have to ask their kids, they're dumb. They don't know shit. It's like they don't know anything. But so when you come to the gym, we basically say the same thing as the parents do, but we give them a structure in a way we can say it where they can hear it. And it's through movement, and everybody wants to move, and everybody wants to fit in. Well, when you're fitting in, doing cool stuff, it's really cool to fit in. And so as we learn and dialogue with whether it's adult or kids and start to figure out what it is, it just goes much deeper. Then we start to connect the movement to what they're doing and how to now navigate life, okay, making sure that you're taking 15 minutes every day to figure out what you need and breathe in that 15 minutes or move or stretch or pray or whatever it is you need to do, you know, and start to try to instill some of those things that we need to do in our everyday life. We can do the little things well, all of a sudden the big things come super easy. But the hard part is we're unwilling to change our ways. After 40 years, you've done the same thing. You don't want to change. But it's until when you learn how to change and you embrace that, which sucks because there's a lot of wrestling that's involved with that sort of stuff. But when you start to embrace that all of a sudden, and kids see it, they feel it, they know it, you know, but they don't know, they can't match the words, and that's what happens. It becomes anger or frustration or fear and lashing out. Well, really it's just their lack of missing something or how to communicate or how to dialogue. And so the gym is able to place a crate because it's crazy, the music's bumping, the doors are open, it's loud, it's obnoxious, but it allows them to be okay and be just that chaotic noise that allows them to be uncomfortable, to be comfortable in an environment like that, and then be able to receive and take what we do. And so
I think gain confidence.
It's everything. It's a game changer.
Something heavy, learning how to move efficiently. You know, I mean, you see a lot of kids when they pick up something, they got this rounded back, and kind of teach them how to, you know, improve their posture a bit. They gain a certain awareness about their body and how to move better. It makes them feel more confident.
Value.
Yeah.
Yes.
Value.
And, you know, that's probably like the really untrained kid. If we're moving up the chain to like teenagers who are playing sports, they have a little bit more body awareness. They're looking for a specific goal. So we also, over the last several months, over the summer, we've been training small groups, softball, girls high school softball. We were with youth baseball. We had some UVA wrestlers in, so you know it's not just you know 13-year-olds come in or 12-year-olds or
if
whatever.
you have a heartbeat or a pulse, well, Ted eliminates all the guesswork, you know. Yeah.
And we get you know great feedback from that. You know, I feel more confident when I go out there on the field, or even when you see them learn something in the gym. A certain lift, you know, you can see them like start to get really
Absolutely.
committed.
Fist bumps, high five, cheering, embrace that.
The energy starts
changes.
We feed off that. We feed off that.
You know, it's interesting. You guys may not know, but I'm a big New York Yankee fan, right? And so one of the players that I always enjoyed watching was Derek Jeter, and we watched this show that's called The Captain, right? And he was saying, I think he was about 35, maybe 36 years old, and his defensive metrics had become lousy, right? But nobody was willing to tell him because he was Derek Jeter, right? Bigger than life to a certain respect, right? But the general manager said, you know, we've got an issue here because your defensive metrics aren't any good. He says, well, nobody else has told me. He says, because everybody else is afraid to tell you, right? So what did he do? Instead of saying, well, too bad, this is who I am, right? He went out and got a personal trainer to help him with basically mobility, because he realized, I've gotten older, so I need to train a different way to be able to move, you know, quickly in different directions. And it was incredible how he improved from like 35 to 36, 37, 38 years old.
Which you would think, like,
yeah, you would think, forget about how can you do
Or
that?
40, 50, 60, 70 years old and still be able to be an absolute rock star.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean,
possible.
it's just so important to be able to have somebody like you guys where they can look at
Everybody.
somebody and say, you know, you have special special needs in the sense that your body needs this to move, or you in particular have this particular issue, and therefore
Everybody's
we need
got
to
an
work.
equation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's,
Yeah.
and once
Yeah.
you start to, and once they start to understand their
Yes.
equation, everything changes. We're just co-pilots. They're driving.
Oh, of course.
You know,
Well, yeah,
but
it has to come
that's-
from them, absolutely, yeah.
that's
I mean,
it.
you can
And-
tell them everything, but if they don't do it.
Yeah, but then a lot of times, that's what we're talking about, like with that Barry Bonds, or who, it's like once when they become so resonated with owning those poor movement patterns, it's hard. That's why being coachable is so, and that's why kids, all they need is
Yeah.
discipline and structure, and they become rocks. They're not bad. Kids are never bad. What
Yeah.
changes, what did they say? It's not the kids that change. We've changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kids
Yeah.
want to mimic
Yeah.
Derek Jeter or Barry Bonds,
Yeah.
but their bodies aren't going to move like, a strong adult, So
Exactly.
sometimes parents, you gotta, give your kid the opportunity to become stronger, move more efficiently, and then, at some point, they may be at the level of Derek Jeter or Barry
Well, let's eat
Bonds.
good first, or let's see what we're watching, and what music are we listening
Yeah.
to, or what are we doing in our downtime, or what are we doing, we can have those dreams and aspirations, but what steps do we take in the most basic level to get there, because that's what gets forgotten about.
Yeah, the data.
So that's what the people don't want to do, that's not, the glory's not in that.
That's right.
It's the glory's when you're out there hitting all the home runs,
Yeah.
but what are they doing every single day to get to the point where they can play at that level?
Exactly.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Exactly.
It's like that in every business, right? In your business, in our
absolutely.
business, I mean, you
It's
don't
always
become
sacrifice.
financial advisors by just flipping your fingers and saying, I'm a financial advisor.
Right.
There's a lot of work that
Yeah.
gets you there, right? So,
Yes.
and you got to put the work in. The same thing when you're working out, or when you're a ball player or basketball player, or anything else.
Yeah, and think about, your story about Derek Jeter, somebody to come to him and tell him, look, you have a weakness.
Yeah.
You need to train it. It's not just going out there and playing baseball and being good. It's you have to
Exactly.
you have to get to the root of the problem and then solve it, and then it'll translate to better performance on the field. And you have to do that. You're a high school athlete. You want to get better at your sport. Yes, play your sport. Learn the techniques, the skills, but you also have to address the issues. Why aren't you jumping higher? Why aren't you sprinting faster?
That's right.
Why aren't you putting the ball out of the park? When you're swinging.
Because every
for the
sport
fence?
is movement.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not the sport, it's movement, the most basic level. That's, exactly right.
I agree.
You
It
move
is.
well, everything else, how you, or you can just be a mom, really, and you can walk upstairs without pain, or you can carry your baby, or you can carry groceries, or you can walk the dog, or as you get older, you can still ride bikes, jump, run, hop, skip, jump, keep up with the grandkids. Quality of life, everything changes.
Yeah.
Because the chances of playing baseball, 1%, probably not going to
Yeah.
happen. Maybe.
If you're lucky.
I'd rather take a chance to be a badass mom or dad. I want to give me that one, yeah.
It's,
yeah.
our old, I don't remember Chris from
Yeah, tennis,
California.
the tennis
teaches
coach.
tennis. He would teach us tennis when we were small, and he would always say, my goal, like, he's like, you three guys, you three Urpí brothers, you're not going to be, like, you're the next, at the time.
You're not gonna be Rafa.
Roger Federer, you're not going to be Rafa Nadal, you're not going to be these guys. My goal is not to make you those guys. My goal is to give you the tools so that you guys can be enjoying playing tennis with each other, being active when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're older. He
Long
said
game.
that's the purpose of what I'm teaching you to do, is that you can play it in a way that you don't hurt yourselves, or that you're able to enjoy it, and you have the skill set to enjoy it going forward. Because you don't have to be those guys. That's not the goal here. The goal is to be a version of you that can enjoy movement and reap the benefits. For, like you said, for your mind, just how you feel about yourself, but also your body. This way you can feel healthy and feel good because you're at motion.
Yes.
And I always.
The more you get to move or explore, just even with this experience, is more that she can be creative. And a lot of times when we're in our disciplines, the more other disciplines that we can use, the more creativeness becomes, because all that's going to be an offshoot of the main version of what we bring to the table. So I think the more experiences that we get to experience, it just allows us to become even more great at our craft.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
But a lot of times our greatness for a lot of folks becomes so honed in on one thing, there's really deep, but there's not much width to it at all. And that's great for that one good thing if that's all we ever talk about, but there's so many things. So, just like what you were saying with kids, I want to be the best baseball, all they ever do is play baseball. No, go do track, go field, go do football, go do soccer, go do all the other things, because it's going to make you a more well-rounded, overall better athlete, more coachable, more different styles of coaching from different skill sets that you're going to be able to learn. And maybe you find out, I don't really like these sports, but I do enjoy doing this. But they can use those disciplines in every capacity of who they are.
Well, because each sport, I think, teaches you different things.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, tennis is very much mental fortitude. You're all by yourself out there, and you need to have sort of that.
Kind of like golf.
Kind of like golf, exactly. Golf can be patience.
All of it's patience. It's just how fast can you go from patient to fast, to full speed like right now.
But then you've got your team sports that are now teaching you to work with others. How do I interact with others? How do I sort of not assume what others are thinking? I'm thinking, especially like in basketball, right? If you're going to pass that ball to someone, where you think you're about to pass the ball, and where he thinks you're about to pass the ball, better be the same spot.
Correct.
Or else it's not going there.
And we all see that with the greatest sport players. They can occupy space in a way, like how do they do that? Well, we all have that capability. They've just taken their skill sets and just been able to move through space in a way that's elegant, at a very fast rate of speed, mind you. You know, but it's elegant, it's movement. We all have the abilities to occupy those sort of spaces, but we don't a lot of times extend those far end ranges. We stay pretty confined to what's comfortable, you know. But those guys get paid a lot of money to explore the unknown to a degree. Yeah.
And that's, as you both said, it's confidence, right? You have to build that
100%.
confidence from when they're small, build that confidence that you are unique,
You have
you're
value,
special, you have
100%.
value, and that value may be different. It may not be a baseball player, it may not be a football player,
Yes.
it may be a great scientist, whatever it is, but you still have that, you need to develop everything, your soul, your psyche, your
Physical,
intelligence,
spiritual.
your physical,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think that's all part of it.
Yeah, balance,
Absolutely.
key.
We gotta-
Yeah.
And that's why having mom and dad there are vital.
Yeah.
And in the
I
society
agree.
we live in right now,
I
why we
agree.
do a lot of what we do is because there is such a shortcoming there. We have an opportunity where kids think that we're rock stars, and we're not. We're just like their mom and dads, whether they know that or not. Doesn't matter. But all of a sudden, we're able to, it doesn't matter who you are. It's like everybody. And then all of a sudden, when these kids become rock stars, they change the dynamics of their relationships, of their family.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, they have a sense of ownership. They're washing dishes. They're helping with their sister. They're doing things. And all of a sudden now, mom and dad, a little less stressed out, a little less this, a little that. They're owning some of those things that they need to own.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Everything is provided for you. You best get your butt out of bed and wash these dishes, wash these clothes. I'm dead serious,
Exactly.
but that's the lack of problem right now. When mom and dad aren't there and it's just one figure there, one can't do all that. It does not, never meant to be like that. Yeah. So the gym
I agree
steps in and we
100%.
do what we can.
Yeah.
We play whatever role that we're ordained to do, and that's what we do to the best of our ability. That's it.
And then you get a lot of the audience loving it, giving you guys a lot of Chrissy Muniz, thanks for watching. Isaac Rodriguez. William Wolf says Justin is the real deal. Mandy LD.
I threatened him.
Maybe that's why he's saying it.
It is. That's what I'm saying. I threatened him.
Mandy says she loves the gym trainers, best in CVille. The gym is starting a program geared towards the homeschool community, which is awesome. Yes, indeed. And apparently, Justin, you won Best of CVille, Best Personal Trainer. So definitely a lot of people.
Fantastic.
Beautifully-
Congratulations.
I've never had one person come to the gym and say, I heard you won Best Personal Trainer. I want to come train.
It will now.
Whatever. Okay. Well, I'll let you know if that happens.
All right.
I mean, that's good, but that,
Yeah. Well, I think what it is that's a symbol for the real reason people come to you. Said, I want to work with you. Because
Then why
of
don't
what
we have
you
a
do."
line out our door?
Because, exactly. Yeah.
Why don't we have a line out our door? That's nice. I appreciate it. Why
Yeah.
don't we have a line out our door?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
Don't let your words, let your actions speak, not
Yeah,
your
exactly.
words.
No, exactly.
Well, that's how you get the award, though, right? Because it's your actions. All right? It wasn't your
Hopefully.
words or
I like
anybody
to think
else's
that
words.
way.
Somebody
Yes,
else said
absolutely.
he's the real deal.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's people feeling that way,
Yeah.
that know you.
Right.
And hopefully that spurs other people to sort of
Weathering
take that
COVID, just weathering COVID in this
Yeah.
small mom and pop store and that's pretty elite in itself.
That is, yeah. That's special in
Absolutely.
itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So before let you go, anything else?
We got so much. We didn't even really get into
Cider.
you talk.
We've taken on a new coach, Riley. He's a student at UVA. We actually wanted him to be here today, but it was in class today.
He's a psych major too.
Yeah.
How dope is that? And a
That's
weightlifter.
awesome.
He's an Olympic weightlifter. He actually just finished a competition, his first competition. So he and I'm also an Olympic weightlifter. I'm not as competitive as he is, but we're starting to get together a program to take on Olympic weightlifters who want to train for competition or people who just want to, learn the lifts. We've bought new equipment, new leg presses and
squat machines, deadlift platforms, calibrated plates.
Yeah, for power lifters,
sleds,
UVA,
bands,
calibrated plates.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, exactly. Just a lot of things going on. There's always a new project. I mean, every day he's got ideas,
I can see that.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I can see that.
And what's really cool, I feel like the gym is finally in a place now where I can start to step away too. That feels really good. Like last week and this week for me have been very interesting. We're talking about this growing and changing and evolving and like being able to step away from the gym and explore these new things that I've always been wanting to and always made me who I am, but I've given up or not given up, but I've really focused on just the business and the gym side of things. So it feels really good to go out and explore and mountain bike and hike and do these things and create some space between me and the gym that's allowing me to kind of rekindle some relationships and explore and network and do things that I feel like I have this huge passion for, but I was never able to do it because I was doing so much at the gym.
Yeah.
And
knowing that it's in good hands.
That's clutch.
Yep.
That's clutch. Yeah, and so it's been, it's really cool. There's so many good things. I don't even know where to begin. If I do, we don't have enough time anyway. So.
But you can find it all. I mean, you've got thegymcville.com, the Gym CVille on Facebook, and Ana Paula Colon, thanks for watching the show this morning. So there's so many ways to find out what's going on. You can easily check it out, the Gym CVille on Facebook. A lot of news coming out of there, and then of course thegymcville.com. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Always fun to have you guys here. Yeah.
So much fun. This has been simply a wonderful show.
Oh, it's been
wonderful
fabulous.
Amazing people
yeah, it really
that
is.
just truly love what they do and truly put in the effort and the passion.
And it's a love for people too.
Yeah,
it's not just a love for what they do, but you can see the love for people, which is
from the beginning, right? From the moment Josephine said how much she loves seeing the different people who come in,
running after and saying, "Here's, I got a new drink. Try this."
Enjoying the different ways that people enjoy the space at Castle Hill. Justin and Jean seeing the different ways that people grow at the gym. Tommy seeing the different people that can enjoy the trail.
In different trails.
So
exactly.
It's just so beautiful and really a blessing that we have these.
It's a blessing. It's a blessed community, it really is, and I hope people truly understand that they are blessed to be here.
Absolutely. Next week we'll have a bunch more fantastic guests. We'll be joined by Elizabeth Raymond from Noble Burner, by Virgil Velasco. He's another Cubano, realtor at Story House Real Estate, and by Ana Antigua and Ricardo Duran. They're going to come to talk about the Amplify Your Voice Conference, Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, on September 9th. So a lot going on next week,
here.
But I mean, cannot end without really encouraging people once again, if you want to meet so many of the amazing entrepreneurs that have come to Today Mañana, and you want to meet the burgeoning, amazing Latino community of professionals in Charlottesville, then you cannot miss the event August 31st at 5:30 p.m. at Castle Hill Cider.
It starts at 5:30.
It starts at 5:30.
They
You can drop in any time between 5:30 and 7:30. Just come on by. We'll have the food is on us at Today Mañana. Thanks to Emergent Financial Services for sponsoring. But the food is on us. There's going to be live music, Lily Graciela. And of course, it's going to be the amazing cocktail and exclusive cocktail flight in the beautiful space that is Castle Hill Cider. So really would encourage you to come, find it, Connect Latino 2022. Type that in. You cannot miss it. We'll put it into some of the feeds so that you can click the link. Be sure to register. It is absolutely free to register. And we really look forward to seeing all the audience there.
I'm looking forward to being there
and
seeing everybody.
Same here. Very much looking forward to it. So just really appreciate everyone that commented today. Just love all the comments, the questions that you all asked. Really just we wouldn't be here without the amazing audience.
Oh, definitely not.
That is Today and Mañana. Thank you, Judah, behind the camera.
He had his work cut out for him today.
I think it's probably either our first or our second live demo that we actually had on the set. So he did a fantastic job.
He earned his pay today, that's all I can say.
That's for sure. He earned, if he comes to Castle Hill, we'll demo a cocktail flight. He earned it.
There you are.
And so just really appreciate him behind the camera. The I Love CVille Network set. Always appreciate our amazing partners that we have here. Forward Adelante Business Alliance, GBS Financial Services, Aqua CVille Hand Car Wash, our friends Chicken Meat Craddock Sirius, the Gym CVille, and of course Castle Hill Cider. And we are always presented by Emergent Financial Services. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, August 31st at Castle Hill Cider, and then the very next Thursday where we will be back here on Today and Mañana. But until that time, as we always love to say on the show, hasta mañana.